Well, hello everybody, Boogie64 here, and as you can see, today we're going to be flying the Boeing 727-200 Super in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. So we're going to be, this is going to be our first flight in this aircraft, so let's get inside the cockpit, let's get things started, and hopefully we won't mess it up. See you inside. Okay, so here we are at Galveston, and we're going to be flying to Dallas-Fort Worth, which will be just about an hour's flight. Okay, let's turn off our head tracking. Get inside the cockpit, and all right, so let's do a couple things first. Okay, cold and dark. Look at our options. Okay, and we're going to be using an old version GNS XLS, which is an FMS, and then we're going to be the MX20, which is basically a map. So let's, okay, very good. All right. Okay, autopilot disengaged. So, let's look at some pre-flight. Okay, so right now, let's load up our flight plan, and I can, from SimBrief. Okay. Passengers, we're going to load them. And you can see 18, 19. Okay, so with this, let's take a look here. All right, runway 14. Okay, that's where we're going to take off from. And going to be landing on runway 18. Okay, so everything looks, let's get the flight telemetry. Okay, so this one I'm going to add a little bit to. Alright, so that's our fuel. Let's load that up. And that's finished. Okay. That's our airport. Runway 14. So it looks like we got, and let's double check this. Wind 369, okay, 13 knots, okay. And that's why we're taking off from runway 14. Let's set our speed bugs. And there we go. Come on. Okay. Now this aircraft takes, normally would have 3 people to manage everything with the flight engineers and co-pilot. Okay. Parking brake set. Alright. So let's go ahead and this is our crew manager, and we're going to let it help. So here we go with the pre-flight.
Pre-flight checklist started. Battery on, APU check.
We'll go ahead and close that.
Starting the APU.
So APU is starting up. Okay, so, and let's look at this.
APU generators closed. Radio master is on. Parking brake set. Galley power established. APU generators closed.
Okay, let's turn this on.
Checked.
It may not be ready. Okay. Okay.
Engine number 1 bleed is open. Engine 2 bleed is open. Engine 3 bleed is also open. APU bleed is open.
Okay, so let's take a look at this.
All packs out. Packs triple warning is tested.
So let's change
Fuel dump switch is
our
closed.
barometric is
Fuel dump valve in transit lights tested. Fuel dump nozzle in transit lights tested. Fireball test completed.
30.12.
Annunciator panel tested. Gyro nav compass source set to normal. Main panel lights checked. Throttle warning horn tested. Fire bottle transfer switch set to lift. Pre-flight checks complete.
Okay. Okay, so pre-flight checks are done. Let's go ahead and there we go. It's starting up. So let's get the map. Okay. We'll let it go through its test. Okay. Let's see if we can. And trim is set. Takeoff trim 6.5. And that's 5, 6. Okay, and with that, we've got flaps takeoff at 15. Alright, so with that, let's go here. And this is just test flight, so I'm not going to worry about ATC. Okay, so well, we'll have to. I just hit the trim. Okay, yeah, look, it's looking okay. So now with that, gonna enter that. Here's our. Now this is a little different than your normal FMS, so. Okay, so departure, intra 14, enter, and we're going to be using, I believe, Beltway 7. Let's take a look here. Let's move this over here for right now. Yeah, it's Beltway 7. And Beltway's the transition. And there it is. Okay, very good. And let's look at arrival. Creed. Arrival Bree 3. Let's see. Okay, so arrival. So this takes a little bit of time. Let me go back. There we go. And 13 right. Okay, so that's there. Arrival is B3. Okay. Waypoints. Okay. And then approach. And then Ickle, Johan, okay. Okay, so with that, okay. Here. So let's get our pre-starts going.
Before start check started. Rolling A countdown. Altimeter is set to 10. 9 up. Nav, beacon and logo lights set. Emergency exit lights are. Window heat is on. Radios are on. Alright, departure briefing completed. Logbook checked. Alternate flaps off. Stall warning tested. Engine and wing anti-ice set to off. Flight control shutouts on. Anti-skid tested. Comparators checked.
Glide slope. Pull up.
Ground proximity warning system checked. Airspeed warning checked. Yaw dampers on. Throttle warning horn tested. Stabilizer trim checked. Trim tested and set. Flight director checked. Boost pump 1 is on. Hydraulic B pump number 1 is on. Fire control is checked. Flight recorder checked. DC power checked. Rudder power is checked and on. Radio master is on. Shocks and cones are removed. Before start checklist complete.
Okay, so let's go ahead and start engines. Engine 3. And we'll go 3, 1, 2. Come on, where's my N2? Huh. Why didn't you start? Okay. That's all set. APU. This is all APU. Fuel's on. Okay. Huh. So it's not starting up. That is interesting. Okay, everything is set up. I'll set the artificial horizon here. Okay. Okay, well, we had a bit of a problem there. I couldn't get the engine started, so we finally figured it out. And in doing so, I lost all my electronics and had to reset the flight plan, so I didn't make you sit through that. Let's go ahead after start checklist. Okay. Alright. Going through the proper procedures. Alright. That's
All jets closed. Beacon lights are on. DC power check. pumps are all on.
Okay.
Hydraulic A pumps on. Hydraulic system B pumps all on.
And
Lower lights set.
so we'll go through this check and everything will be good.
Window heat is on. Gyro nav compass source is set to normal. Alternate flaps off. Engine and wing NDI set to off.
Okay, so let's take a look at. Okay, everything's set there.
Slope.
Comparators checked. Ground proximity warning system checked. Flight instruments all on. Airspeed warning checked. Yaw dampers on. Spoilers detected. Flight director checked. After start checks complete.
Alrighty. So, with that, Galveston ground, ADX-01, ready to taxi to runway.
Airbus 8X01, runway 32, taxi via Bravo.
Runway 32 taxi via Bravo, Airbus 8X01.
Okay, well, they changed the runway on us. So we're going to be going to 3-2 instead of 1-4. So the wind must have tripped. Let's get the taxi checklist done.
Taxi checks. Taxi light is on.
Okay, so
Flaps 15 set. EDR for engine 2 is set to 1 decimal 90. 2 decimal 18. Trim is set to 2 decimal
flap set 15. Okay.
Rope heat on. Air condition checked and set. Alright, taxi checks complete.
Alright, very good. Let me double check this. Okay, looking good. Alright, so with that, move this out of the way right now and let's get going. Brake released. Add a little bit of power. Slow it down some. All right, so and I decided to go ahead and use Beyond ATC just to see how things work. So this is the first time I've used this nav computer system. So And let's so barometric pressure set, altitude is set. It's a short flight, so you know.
Airbus 8X01, contact Galveston Tower 120.575.
Over to Tower 120.575, Airbus 8X01.
Okay. Get up here and hold short. Okay, flaps are set at 15. Okay, so let's see. Parking brake is on. And before takeoff,
Before takeoff, check started.
okay.
Auto brake set to RTO.
Ignition set to continuous.
Essential power on generator.
Anti-skid is on.
Drop lights on. AT9 guy on. Transponder is on. APU. Pumps are all on. Oil cooler. Air condition checked and set.
Okay,
Switch on flight.
that's all looking good.
Takeoff checks complete.
That's all looking good. Very good. All right. Galveston Tower 80X01, request departure.
Airbus ADX-01, Galveston Tower, wind 360 at 12, fly heading 330, runway 32, cleared for takeoff.
Fly heading 330, runway 32, cleared for takeoff, Airbus 8X01.
Okay. Brakes released. Okay, so we are set for takeoff. Run the engines up, let them stabilize. Brakes released. Airspeed's alive.
Airbus Attic 01, reset transponder. Squawk 4365.
Squawk 4365, Airbus ADEX-01.
After takeoff checks. Ignition set to off. Landing gear off.
Okay. Autopilot on. Let's take a look here. Okay, that's looking good. Okay. Alrighty. Alrighty. Okay, flaps up.
Hydraulic system and pump one is off.
Yeah, after takeoff checks.
Okay. Okay, so altitude's looking good. We're not getting any 342. Okay. Alright, so let's look at navlog. Okay. Looking very good. Alright, so we've got a nice climb, about 800 feet a minute. Alright, let's pull this back, because we are over speed. I'm under 10,000. I'm supposed to be at 250 or less. So we'll just slow down some. Okay. Hopefully we've got enough fuel. Now the block fuel said 20,000 pounds, and I'm only going to use 8,000 for this flight. We shall see. Okay, indicated airspeed hold. Let's see if this works. Okay. Yep, that's okay. We're within 1,000 feet. That's a good sound to hear. Okay. So once we get Reed is up there. Okay, we're at level 11,000 feet. Okay, so very good.
DFW Airport Information Uniform 1700 Zulu. Wind 078 at 7. Visibility 10. Sky condition clear. Temperature 28. Dew point 16. Altimeter tree 016. ILS runway tree 5 center. ILS runway tree 5 right. ILS runway tree 5 left. ILS runway tree 6 right. And ILS runway tree 6 left in use. Landing and departing runway tree 5 center. Runway tree 5 right. Runway tree 5 left. Runway tree 6 right. And runway tree 6 left. VFR aircraft stay direction of flight. All aircraft read back. Hold short instructions. Advise controller on initial contact you have uniform. DFW Airport Information Victor 1700 Zulu. Wind 078 at 7. Visibility 10. Sky condition clear. Temperature 28. Dew point 16. Altimeter tree 016. ILS runway tree 5 center. ILS runway tree 5 right. ILS runway tree 5 left. ILS runway tree 6 right. And ILS runway tree 6 left in use. Landing and departing runway tree 5 center. Runway tree 5 right.
Okay, so we're still learning. This is the very first flight with this airplane, so right now we are approaching wards. We're on a 314, but this has changed. Oh, I see what's happened. Okay, so this goes back 314. We're getting ready to show deets. Okay, and deets, and then we're going to turn to 358. Okay. Okay. So we're still learning a lot about this. Okay, so why? Here we go. Now it should catch. Alright, so that put us way off. Yeah, that's the marker. Okay, so we're going to have to go up here. And so this will take us back to probably Ickle. We're going by Woot. Okay, so try to get this back. We're doing okay. Doing a lot of this manually. We're maintaining our altitude, and at Headman, which we'll be coming up to, we should be at 8,700 feet. But what I'm going to do is set my altitude to 4,000. And we're going to start losing altitude. And so with that, we got to slow down. But I oversped at the beginning, so. Yeah, okay. And Ickle is 356. Okay, Younghan 177. Alright, so we're going to end up having to fly this thing by hand. Okay, so Alright. We're hand flying it now. Alright.
Approach checks.
Now, localize set.
Brake pressure check.
Altimeter is set to 102. Pumps are all on.
Cross speed number 2 open. 1 and 3 are closed. Fuel heat off. Hydraulic pumps all on. Approach checks complete.
Airbus ADX-01, radio check.
Airbus ADX-01, reading you loud and clear.
Dallas Fort Worth ADX-01 on approach for landing.
DFW Tower Airbus ADX-01, landing clearance not issued. Please make a request for taxi instructions on the appropriate frequency.
Landing checks.
Looks pretty simple.
Ignition set to continuous. Anti-skid is on.
Landing checks complete.
Okay, runway in sight.
Lights fly.
Traffic. Ascend. Increase descent. Climb. Traffic. Clear of conflict. Traffic. Climb. Monitor vertical speed. Ascend.
Okay, well, she's a nice bird to hand fly. Let's see if we can get her on the ground safely. So far the flight hasn't gone the way I planned it, but all in all it hasn't been too bad. A little bit high, but not too bad. On the glide slope. Okay, we're looking good.
Right slope 900. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Okay, we are down. Alright, so not a bad landing, I must say. Let's go ahead and stop right about here. We landed on the wrong runway. We were looking for, no, 18 right, yeah, okay. So, that being said,
After landing checks. Brake pressure check.
okay, so with that, let's talk to...
Ignition set to off.
Alright, well, there we have it. We flew from Galveston to Dallas-Fort Worth. Took us just over an hour. Goes to show I still have a lot to learn about this particular aircraft. But I got to tell you, I really enjoyed flying it. It's the Boeing 727-200 REP. And so, and it's made by FSS, and they did a fine job on this aircraft. So I've got to learn, how to use the navigation system much better, but it didn't kill me, so that's always a plus. So with that being said, this is Bug Eater 64, and I sure hope you enjoyed the flight. Had a lot of fun bringing it to you. Sorry for the delay. It's been a while. I had to have some surgery done, and I'm still on the mend. So until next time, this is Bug Eater 64, and as always, remember, safe flying.